Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight to what it all means. Joining us as always is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campia.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Buongiorno a tutti, miei amici. Domani porta gloria. Mio nome è Giovanni Campia, and I am so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
Also your AMC Movie News Senior Editor, Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Hey guys, Forza Italia.
Forza
thanks
Italia.
for all the birthday love. I really appreciate it. It was very nice.
Also here, one half of Schmoes Know, Christian Harloff.
Shuda. That's all I can do. I can do Jedi.
And also here's AMC's very own Alicia Malone.
And all I can do is, g'day mate, how's it going? And Jaws face.
Jaws face for the win.
Shot with a dart or something.
All right, folks, well, listen. I've got a few things to go over and to cover today and to talk about, but I wanted to start off today before we get into the news, and then we're going to do, mostly today, we're just going to take your live Twitter questions. So I'm going to let you know right now up front, if you are watching us live, and we do this show live every day, Monday through Friday, at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can tweet in some questions right now. Ashley's going to be over there, and the lion's share of today's show is going to be taking your questions. But I have an announcement to make today.
What?
That I am very excited about. I am actually ridiculously pumped about this. Okay, so Comic-Con is coming up. San Diego Comic-Con, as you know, we're there every year, and we do some stuff there every year. And I run a little thing called the Masters of the Web panel. And this year, we are doing something a little bit different with the Masters of the Web panel. First of all, now last year our theme was horror films, was our theme last year, and we went kind of that way. We had some great horror people from around the web.
Your Next.
We had the Your Next writer and director in on the panel too. This year our theme, appropriately so for Comic-Con, is going to be comic book movies. We're going to be talking about that. And I'm going to announce to you today who the panel is going to be. So our theme is comic book movies, but our panel is also going to kind of have a theme. And this year's theme, which has never really been done before with Masters of the Web, is YouTube movie personalities. Ooh. Normally we go just with the written movie site personalities. This year we're going to go with the video online movie personalities. So the Masters of the Web panel this year, focusing on comic book movies, is going to be, first of all, our very own Christian Harloff.
I'm so excited.
Is going to be on the panel, and his Schmoes Knows partner. I keep saying nose.
Well, everyone does.
I always say
because it
nose.
rhymes. Because it rhymes.
Yes.
It rhymes.
His Schmoes Know partner, Mark Ellis, is going to be on the panel, which I'm very excited about. DC All Accesses, and she also does stuff with Schmoes Know, is Tiffany Smith. She is going to be on the panel. Our very own John Schnepp is going to be on the panel. Really well known, a friend of ours, especially with these guys, online YouTube film critic Jeremy Johns is going to be on the panel with us, and I'm going to be on the panel this year, which is going to be a little bit different and weird. And Krista Lee and Ashley are going to be our hosts for that. And our special guest this year, because every year we do a special guest. This is a guy, really, every once in a while I try to get the best guest that I can, whatever best guest that I can. This year, I'm going to tell you right up front, this one was for me. Because I have been trying to get this guy. I'm a huge fan of this guy. And I've been working to try to get him on the show, but he's not in LA a lot and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just a huge fan of his work. He's in 2 of my top 10 favorite television shows of the past decade, and he's in 2 of them, and he's a commanding presence in both of them. He is the Hunter of the Arrow, he is the commander of the Orc Legions, and he is the undisputed champion of Capua. Our special guest this year is going to be the actor Manu Bennett. And what makes him especially appropriate for this panel is, since our theme this year is comic book movies, for the last couple of years, he's been playing like the best comic book villain on TV. He's been playing Deathstroke on TV, so I thought he would have a really unique perspective. So that's our Masters of the Web panel this year. If you're going to be in San Diego Comic-Con, make sure you come on down for that. And we got some other things going on, too. We're going to have an AMC meet and greet. We're going to have, I guess we're going to be doing autographs for a little while at some point, probably. But lots of stuff coming up. Please join us for that. So with that out of the way, it's time for us to get into some movie news. Now, we're basically going to spend today taking your Twitter questions, but there are 2 pieces of movie news that came up that I think are particularly interesting that we want to talk about for a second. And the first one that we got to lead off with. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is coming out.
Yes.
And I love the first film. It was such a pleasant surprise because I didn't expect it to be that great. And while I have liked the trailers for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes up until this point, something about them just hasn't been clicking with me. You know, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm a little nervous about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. They dropped the final trailer either late last night or this morning. The doubt is gone.
Speechless.
The doubt is gone. I am all in. I am all in for this. Is a remarkable trailer. Anyway, Amy Rose, you had a chance to watch it just a little bit ago. Your thoughts on this newest trailer for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
I have not had any doubts up to this point because I have thought every single trailer has been fantastic. And this just kind of sealed the deal because, a lot of the times they just recycle the same scenes and then add a couple new ones. But we got a lot of new content in this one. And it's just so good. And the concept of apes, tucking, could be really cheesy and really fall flat, and on horses, which I know you love so much, and just there's so many elements that could be bad, but they look fierce and menacing and authoritative, and I love the whole evolution concept, and I just think it looks amazing. Add Gary Oldman, Kerry Russell, but the trailer is really good. There's this tension throughout. I'm just it's about to go down. So I'm really excited, and I'm glad it's the final one because as we saw with Amazing Spider-Man, so many times they show too much. They've shown enough. I'm really happy with what I've seen. My expectations are so high. I hope it can meet them. But I'm glad that they're not going to show us anymore. I want surprises.
You throw me the softball. I'm going to say it. Say it with me. Apes on horses.
Apes on horses.
Apes on horses.
Yeah, I'm with Amy Rose here. We watched the trailer together, and as I'm watching them, this showed all the elements of what I did like all the other trailers, and I've been excited for this one since they announced it. And I'm watching every bit of the cool trailers from before. We kind of mixed into one big trailer, but we get just a little bit more and a couple more lines from Caesar. And as he's watching that video of him and James Franco, he's talking about he was a good man, just like you're like, oh, you could tell what makes Caesar such a great character and the emotion there. And then that scene where the bad guy he shows, oh yeah, look, I'm a silly ape. Oh, and by the way, I know how to use this. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
oh
so
my
good.
God, get me in the theater tomorrow.
Yeah.
It gave me chills, and even just watching it on a small computer screen, I think this is the best motion capture I've ever seen.
It's flawless.
I mean, the expressions on their faces are incredible, and I love that this trailer shows more of the war between humans and apes. I always loved Planet of the Apes as a metaphor, in the 60s, civil rights, and now Rise of the Planet of the Apes was about the 1% rising up, and now they're really rising, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many really cool moments. But like you said, there's more content in this trailer. There is, but for me, this was the first one that gave us real context. Like the other ones gave us some shells, but this gave us context for the movie. And especially what was really good, what gives a whole new dimension to this movie is that one scene when Caesar is talking to that one guy who seems to want to usurp him. It's like, Caesar loved humans more than apes. And he's like, oh, so this is all going on too.
Yeah.
So Caesar's trying to deal with this group of people. He's trying to deal with this group of people. It's a wonderful trailer, and I'm totally on board. All right, well, there was one other thing that came up that I think deserves some mentioning here, because it was a quiet little movie that has oddly become one of the most divisive movies of a long time. Hansel and Gretel is getting officially a sequel.
What?
It's officially getting a sequel in 2016. It actually made a little bit of money. And there are people who just love this film, and there are a lot of people who really just hated it. And for me, I walked out of the first Hansel and Gretel feeling eerily similar to the way I felt when I walked out of the first Underworld movie. Because when I came out of the first Underworld movie, I'm like, that didn't really do it for me. But I'm in love with this concept, and if they do another one, I'll be there to watch it again, even though this didn't really do it for me. And I felt the same way about Hansel and Gretel. It's like, it didn't quite click for me, but I see a lot of elements in there that I think could really work. Do another one. And so it seems like they want to do another one, so here they come. I'm sensing a great amount of pessimism at this table.
Yeah.
So Amy Rose, your thoughts on them greenlighting a sequel to Hansel and Gretel?
I just don't think it's necessary.
No.
I was definitely in the camp that it gave me exactly what I expected. It was silly, and it was no fault to the two main actors. I love Jeremy, I love Gemma, but
I love Famke.
the difference, Famke is just, I mean, come on. But the difference with Underworld is that it had Kate Beckinsale, and she can pretty much do harm to me. So yeah, I don't think it's necessary. This is one adaptation from, you know, the untold story of the fairy tale that I don't need to see again.
Yeah.
I really have been, you know, Maleficent disappointed me a little bit. Angelina was spectacular, but I don't really like how they made her character. This was kind of a similar thing. I'm like, okay, now they're these witch hunters. Like it just fell flat from a really good fairy tale originally. So yeah, I'm not interested.
Who was asking for this movie? Like, I really want to know. I'm sure some people enjoyed it, but who's going, man, we need a sequel for that one.
Can't wait to see more.
It came out in January. Is this the first movie to ever come out in January to get a sequel? That's what I want. I'm so shocked that this movie had a sequel. I don't want to see it, and I'm sad because now I know I have to review it. But yeah, I don't want to see it. I hope they make it better, and I agree with you. Everyone involved, I'm a big fan of, acting-wise. I just thought it was too silly. I thought it was the same thing that happened with Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter, where it was just like, hey, let's just take a classic story everyone knows and just make it bizarre, and they're fighting monsters and witches and over CGI it. And I'm like, I just don't care. It's not entertaining enough, and the story to me wasn't engaging enough that I wanted to see more. No.
Yeah, no, for me also. I didn't like the concept of the witch hunters, Hansel and Gretel, and I laughed, I remember, through most of it.
And not in a
I thought
good
it was
way.
so
Yeah, was
silly.
it
Not in
supposed
a
to be
good
a
way.
comedy?
No, there were a lot of
comedy.
laughs.
I don't know about
It
that.
wasn't, yeah, we weren't laughing at the funny bits. And it was one of those films that I saw and then I had to do the junket for. It's like, so, tell me about your other movie. But I do like the cast involved. It's just a shame it just didn't work as a concept. And no more is needed.
Yeah.
All right, folks, so I said we were primarily going to spend today just taking your live Twitter questions because we don't do this enough, and today we are. So send in your tweets. Tweet to us any topic you want to bring up. Tweet us at AMC Movie News. Ashley is over there. She is our gatekeeper today. So, Ashley, what are people asking on Twitter?
Belinda Bew writes, hey guys, question. Do you think that the rumors of Paul Walker's brother Cody joining future Fast and Furious movies are true?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. I think it's a very romantic idea, but I don't think there's any validity to it.
I thought they were shot down. I thought that at one point there was a big rumor to it, and
I
that
hadn't
was
heard.
denied.
I hadn't heard
I
it.
thought, but I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's a
think it'd be
nice
weird.
concept for to finish the film, but I don't think they should continue that character.
No, I
Retire
agree.
his character off. Like, we want him to see the happily ever after with, you know, Jordana Brewster and all of that. I think that's great. You know, with his family, finish it off, because we all got so cheated from that, especially them.
But they said that repeatedly, that we are retiring the
I
character.
don't think that Paul Walker's brother would be playing his character. I think he would be playing a separate character.
Like
I
his
think that's
brother?
Maybe
But
so.
I don't think
but
that's happening
I don't think it's
either.
going to happen
No.
either. But if it did happen, I'd rather obviously see that than him play the same character.
Yeah, that'd be
Sure.
weird if it was.
All right, what's next?
Salim Fraser writes, who is more intimidating, Winter Soldier, Cap 2, or Bane, TDKR?
Since Bane sounds to me like an effeminate British butler,
Sean Connery.
Mr. Wayne. Time for tea. Winter Soldier to me. There's something about the guy who doesn't talk.
Yeah.
And almost anything. The guy who doesn't speak, whether you're talking about Darth Maul, and of course he had one or two lines, but Darth
Well,
Maul.
that face, come on.
I mean, there's just something, and he's got a big metal arm. I personally find, the Winter Soldier, number one, a much better character, at least in the film version, but also just overall, I would find that dude more intimidating.
Yeah, I think Winter Soldier's more intimidating. He seems more indestructible, whereas Bane, you just take off the thing and he's gone. Done. Oh no, I need
You got
my
to get
thing.
it off of him. Good luck.
Sure, he is beefy. I will
Yeah.
give him that.
That's a tough one for me. That's a Sophie's choice, I'll tell you that. I think I will also go with Winter Soldier, only because the difference is that Bane will have a little bit of a conversation with you, even though that conversation will be very intimidating, but you can at least, he'll joke with you for a second. Winter Soldier's just walking up to you and taking you out. So I see this guy walking up to me with that hair flopping in. I think at first, is that Jim Morrison behind the thing? And next thing you're gone. So I'd go Winter Soldier.
I'd also go Winter Soldier, especially on the big screen that we've seen. And like, he has this robotic, like, no human quality about him, where he's just
That's- yeah.
up close
Brainwashed,
and personal,
yeah.
brainwashed, which made it so good as you saw the evolution of that character. So yeah, I cannot wait to see that storyline continue as well.
All right, what's next?
Jonathan 4 writes, will we ever see a Universal Monsters shared universe on the big screen?
We've talked about it.
Well, I mean, this is actually, we've talked about this a few times on the show. Yes, if Universal can follow through with their plans. They are planning on, I mean, they had Orsi and Kurtzman together working on trying to develop that thing. Speaking of Underworld, Len Wiseman the director of Underworld. He was originally brought on by Universal to direct the rebooted Mummy, and this would be a reboot of the classic Mummy, not of the Brendan Fraser Mummy.
Love you,
Then
Brendan.
Wiseman left, and they brought in somebody else. I believe that person left, they brought in somebody else. So no, they have this plan right now. Now, whether or not they can actually bring it to fruition, they do have the plan, Universal, to create a shared universe of their classic Hollywood monsters. And I hope they pull it off. I think it'd be really cool if they did it right. Have you guys heard anything about this?
I haven't, but I want it so bad. I mean, this is the kind of film that even if it's cheesy, it's going to be the best kind of cheesy because it's all the best monsters. And I just feel like that's a wasted opportunity. I mean, look what Marvel's doing. Look what all these different studios are doing within their shared universe. It's so rich. Finally, we're seeing Fox doing that as well. So I just feel like, you know, with the limited properties they do have, since they don't have a lot of other properties that are so hot right now, I feel like the monsters are always going to get people to the theaters. And, you know, the characters are great. The monsters are great. So, yeah, I really want to see this, but I have not heard an update.
I want to see it also, and I think for the reason for shared universes, we have, you know, Star Wars is going to have a shared universe in the sci-fi, and then we have the superhero shared universes. We haven't had this type of genre in a shared universe, which would be cool.
Yeah.
But what I would like to see is a smaller scale. I'd like to see almost old school practical effects more, like, because for me the Mummy over CGIs, for me they can be fun, but then I start to lose it a little
Yeah.
bit. I want to see them go more like the way that they used to
I
do it.
want to see a
think it'd be
mummy.
fun.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just leave it at that. I want
Right.
to see a mummy.
What about the way that the Andy Serkis captures these characters for apes, right? Do something like that.
Just throw 'em in
for
everything.
But do
monsters.
you
Yeah.
even need CGI if you're going to do a mummy?
Exactly.
Yeah,
just
I
do,
think
yeah.
a
Minimal.
total man in
I'd love
costume.
that. I'd love that old school
it'd
effects
be fun.
feeling. You know, I love classic movies, so I can just imagine having a great shared universe with classic movie monsters. And I prefer to see that than the origin stories of
Yeah.
monsters
Yeah,
that we're
yeah.
starting to get. I don't care about that. Just give me them in their classic form.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Like a Wolfman, you don't costume that. You go rah rah. You don't do that. You CG the face on that. You do that right. But like a mummy, you can just. He's just supposed to be a dude.
Wrap him in
Wrap him
bandages.
on up.
Just a dude.
Mummy dude. Okay,
Yeah.
what's next?
Donovan
dude.
Hunter.
Hashtag mummy dude.
Donovan Hunter writes, do you think Ben Affleck will stick around to do the next Batman solo film for 2019?
Well, I mean, look, I've said this for the worst kept secret on the planet is that Ben Affleck. You don't get Ben Affleck to be Batman without future plans
Come
for
on,
Ben Affleck.
yeah.
We've all known this
Yeah.
for 6 months now. They're
wasted
going to be
opportunity.
Batman movies with Ben Affleck as Batman. We've all known this forever. This is no surprise. Now, there are reports going around that it may be 2019. I read something else that was going to be as early as 2017. So, I mean, when it happens, I don't know. For Ben Affleck, who's already 42,
Yeah.
2019 seems like an odd first solo film for the character because now you're talking like 5 years down the road. So he's going to be pushing 45, 46 at the time. I don't know if I believe the whole 19. I mean, it's totally possible, possible. But yeah, I mean, yes, Ben Affleck is going to be doing more than just Batman versus Superman. There's no other reason in the world why you'd bring him on, and I think we've all known this forever. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think you definitely have him, and I'd love to see him in a solo Batman movie, but down the track. So I like the idea of 2019. It's a bit more space between Christopher Nolan's Batman and this future Batman. I'd also love to see him direct a Batman because I love his directing style.
Yeah, I mean, I read the report, again, everyone else, I think today, El Mayambe had come out with it on Latino Review, had put it out, that 2019, but they also, the reason I bring that up also is because they had said, they heard the same report that Nikki Fink did. And when everyone said, well, there's no Batman standalone film there has to be a Batman
Yeah,
standalone.
there will be.
Has to be.
And I think with Ben
It
Affleck...
is their cash cow.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah, sure.
But what if this slate that everyone is reporting, and it turns out to be true with DC, then you will have him in Batman v Superman as Batman, Justice League. So he'll already have done those two films. So when the
And
standalone
let's
comes,
face it, the Justice League movie is really going to be a Batman and a Superman movie.
Absolutely.
I mean, really.
You're going to get a lot of
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot. You're going to learn a lot about him and what he's been up to. So you're going to embrace whether or not you do embrace Ben Affleck as Batman. You'll find out in Batman versus
Yeah.
v
Yeah.
Superman. So 2019 gives us enough time to get that standalone and be really excited for it.
I'd be more shocked at this point if Ben Affleck did not direct something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would be a wasted opportunity. I mean, a lot of people, when he was cast as Batman, they weren't happy about it because he's a
such
very
a good
well-known
director,
actor.
yeah.
But he's a better director than actor. And the last 3 films of his have not been good, they've been fantastic. And he's become better actor every time he's directed something. So it'd be a wasted opportunity all around, and they might be, a little controversial about how he'll be as Batman, but I think everyone knows at this point that he's an amazing director, so that's less disputable. So yeah, I really want to see what he's going to do with it.
All right, what's next?
Mario G28_weirdo writes, have you seen the announcement posted on Dr. Dre's Twitter about the NWA biopic?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
And they showed the cast as well today.
yeah, they showed the cat. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna go into it with a negative outlook. Ever since I heard that, and I love Ice Cube. I love Ice Cube. He's so funny when he does comedy. He did that stuff with me and Dennis the other week that we featured on the
That was
show here
great.
the other day. I love Ice Cube. As soon as I heard, because he is the producer on the film, they cast his son, non-actor, for a lead role in
Who
a
does
major
that remind
Hollywood. For a major lead role in a Hollywood picture. When there are other kids, other actors who have been busting their asses acting and training and honing their craft for 5, 10 years, or since they were 4 years old, they don't get the shot. No. Let's get the kid of the producer and put him in the movie. I love Ice Cube. To me, this stinks. It stinks. And that horrible stench is going to stay with me about this movie until I get to see it and it changes my mind. Now, I see people justifying, but he looks so much like Ice Cube. Since when
does
the
look
F does that he looks like him have anything to do with it? When does that have anything to do with it?
Yeah.
It's a stupid notion. Now, I will say this. I'll give it this. There is nobody on the planet who will be more qualified to understand what the mannerisms of Ice Cube are.
Yeah.
I give it that. You gotta give it that. Give it its due. But it just pisses me off because I know so many actors who are in this town who struggle and do everything right and bust their asses and train and hone their skills, and these are the people that should be getting this shot, not the producer's freaking kid. So anyway, that's just my
I
feeling
get that.
on it.
I
Love your
really
rant.
do, and I generally share that sentiment. But for something like this, who's going to know him better? I mean,
Yeah.
it feels like, first of all, I'm really excited about this. We all know I'm a music junkie, and I mean, that's what I grew up on. So this is really exciting. But I do generally agree that there's hardworking people that deserve a shot. Don't make him the star. Throw him in the film. I'm not as offended by that. But in this context, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because I do think that he might crush it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Based on what?
Yeah.
On the
Based
fact
on
that
what?
Ice Cube's his father. Come on.
I got.
Not a small tidbit.
I'm siding on Amy Rose here because the reason this isn't After Earth to where I'm
Exactly.
with you on those points.
But it smells
Yeah.
like After
The reason
Earth to
why
me.
I don't think it does for me is because Ice Cube is obviously very attached to this. It includes a friend of his that passed away. There's a life story that he wants to tell there. That when he's entrusting his son
Exactly.
to be in this movie, he is working with him. He is sharing these experiences. It's not like, hey, you're going to be saying some weird language and fake Dennis and Shamalama Sham Sham is going to be saying this. He's now going to be really. His son knows the passion. This is going to be the first time we could see him break out the same way that Ice Cube did in Boys in the Hood. If he delivers by delivering his father's performance, I
Yeah.
understand where you're coming from. There
Yeah.
are a lot of actors out there that deserve the shot, but for me, I just feel on your side here in
Yeah.
regards to this is a passion project
Yeah.
that I know my dad. I've been there. I lived it. He lived this. I can do this.
Yeah.
If he's a bad actor, I might be on the same
Yeah.
side. Well, they should have given it to someone else. But
He's gonna
I understand
drill
the
him
choice.
too.
Right.
You know, he's not
Right.
gonna just be like, "Oh, you're doing okay." He's gonna be like, "You need to do better." You know,
Yeah.
like because Ice Cube's gonna make
And
sure.
he can be scary.
Yeah.
Well, yes, you can.
We have seen that before. I'll wait to see what the son will be like, but I was one of those people who looked at the cast photo and went, oh my God, he looks so much like him.
He looks.
He looks so much like him.
spot
Imagine
on.
I don't know much at all about NWA. You know, I'm not straight out of Compton, unfortunately. So I'm
on,
really
you have
interested in this story.
street
Oh yeah, I'm totes straight. So I'm interested in the story and if Gary Gray who's directing it, and he did Friday as well. So I want to know about this backstory because I know nothing about it. But yeah, Ice Cube, don't cross him.
See, actually, I grew up listening into that era because I was a professional breakdancer for a
Which
while.
I still want to see,
I
Sean.
want to see this.
YouTube wasn't around.
No, you can put it back. There's one with Vin Diesel on there. You guys should do side to side.
But I grew up listening to NWA, and I grew up listening to that era stuff, and like I was so excited when I heard that they were going to be doing this film. To me, it's just another thing of the absolute disrespect everybody has for the art of acting.
Yeah, except for
and I'm not an
someone like,
actor, and I'm not even an actor. I suck as an actor.
Someone like Clint Eastwood who doesn't help his kids out at all with this kind of stuff. That's kind of good.
Yeah, I mean, I
Makes
I
them
get
audition
helping
for
your
their
kid out.
roles.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get helping your kid out and getting doors to open for them, but saying, we got this major motion picture, you get the lead.
But it's him.
I think
To me,
I think it's different this one.
to me, it's bold.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Good question.
Walker writes, could we see Robin in the new DC movies?
No, move on.
Yeah, next.
Next. Anthony Crosby writes, what do you think of all the new Lex Luthor character description rumors? No hair? Question mark.
Oh dear.
Oh, actually, I just read this
does
last
have-
night that that apparently there's a set report that came out that like LexCorp is actually going to kind of be more like a Facebook and Google sort of
Yeah.
thing. That the
interesting.
main foyer of the main LexCorp building is actually a basketball court in it, and it's getting which is actually completely makes sense for when you understand what is the big major profitable corporations today. They're those sorts of corporations.
Google.
They say that Luthor has kind of shaggy, dirty blonde hair.
I don't like that.
I do, because there is precedence for this.
Yeah.
And plus it opens up, it gives you somewhere to go if you want to try to explore a storyline at some point of him losing his hair.
Yeah.
Because you know, at some point in this DC cinematic universe, he's going to be bald at
You're
some
right,
point.
yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Now, how much weight do I give to those rumors? It sounded legit to me, but I mean, who knows if it's true or not. But I honestly, I heard it and I thought, this makes sense to me. What
It
do you
could
guys
just
think?
be a thing of Jesse Eisenberg's playing the character. Let's make it like Facebook.
Yeah.
Like in the rumors. But did Lex have hair in comics?
There are storylines in the comics and versions of the comics where he has
yeah, it's
sometimes long red hair and whatever.
Really?
So yeah.
Lovely.
Jesse Eisenberg with crazy blonde hair seems weird right off the bat. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right, because it's not like Lex is going to be the main headliner of this film. So I do think it is kind of cool to introduce the younger, really brilliant, start to see the hatred brewing and just show his evolution of that. So yeah.
Talk about shared universes. This is actually a sequel to The Social Network. Yeah. But no, when I first heard that he was going to have
If Batman
hair,
could have invented the Batmobile, he would have invented the Batmobile.
right, exactly. So when I heard that he had hair, my initial thought was, "What? Come on!"
Me
And then
too.
and then I go, "Wait a minute, he's young.
Yeah.
He's younger.
Yeah,
They
he's
cast
younger,
him young.
yeah.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
This makes a lot of sense to do that because then it's when it happens, you go, aha, Coming to
day.
America style, yeah." And I dig it. I like where they're going with him because it fits. I'll say right that when initially Jesse Eisenberg was cast, I had a fit. I had a big fit. I did a big video on it. I was against it. As time has gone on, I'm starting to warm up to the idea, and this description of it makes me warm up to it even more because that's what he does.
Yes.
And teaming up with Batman, whether or not he does, could be fun.
Yeah, I love Jesse Eisenberg as a choice. I was always on board. He's such a great actor. So I can't wait to see him show various sides to this Lex Luthor character.
The funny thing about the Jesse Eisenberg casting was I've never been a big Jesse Eisenberg fan. He hasn't won me over completely
Really?
yet. But the thing is, it came after the announcement of Gal Gadot. Right?
Yeah.
So
Massage.
When,
How do you feel about that?
after the Gal Gadot thing, once again, no respect for real actors and whatever. After that, it's like I got on and said, you know what? This whole Jesse Eisenberg thing is Lex Luthor. It's okay with me. Why? He's a real
He's
actor.
a really good actor.
Gal Gadot will not be on the Masters of the Web.
No.
Actually, that is a versus I'd really like to see between you two.
But I should throw this in there because I think people miss this sometimes. People think I'm going to go into Batman versus Superman and just waiting for Gal Gadot to fail and hoping she fails. Make no mistake about it. And I'm not being facetious here or anything. There is not going to be a bigger cheerleader come 2016 cheering on and hoping Gal Gadot knocks it completely out of the park more than me. If there's anything I could personally do to help her performance, which is nothing I could do. But if there was, I would do it because I want this movie to be awesome. I want this. Finally, we're getting the most iconic female superhero in history on screen. I want it to be awesome. So my opinion is that it was a horrible decision getting her to do it, and I don't feel good about it. That being said, hell, if I could hit a button that would ensure she's awesome, I want her to be awesome. And I hope Zach can pull some magic out of his ass and make this work, because I'm seriously going to be her biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest critic of the casting, but I'm going to be her biggest cheerleader, hoping she really knocks it out of the park.
But if she's bad, you are going to make a video yourself.
No, there's nothing left to say. I mean, if she's bad, there's nothing left to say.
But I just hope the role's good.
Yeah, I mean that's where it starts, right?
That's where it starts, is with the writing and how they treat that character. And then maybe she can bring it. I don't know. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Okay, one last question.
Okay, Joanne Fundora writes, what is the Spielberg movie, Saving Private Ryan or Schindler's List?
Whoa.
Amistad. Honestly, I've said that a lot of people. I'm still surprised how many people have not watched Amistad. It is, and people who are much smarter than me disagree with me, but it is still my favorite Spielberg movie. There's something about Amistad that moves me when I watch it, and whether it's Djimon Hounsou's performance or Matthew McConaughey or whatever, Anthony Hopkins is great in it.
That's Mary Abraham?
Yeah, I mean, the movie like moves me every time I watch it, and so for me, it's that one.
I mean, it's funny. Even out of the two, my favorite Spielberg movie of all time is Saving Private Ryan. I'm a World War II guy, like movies that eat him up, a history guy, and so everything he did there. I mean, Vin Diesel's a phenomenal actor in that movie. Like that's what he did in that one.
Magic.
But there's a lot of stuff that happens in that movie. Tom Hanks, obviously, and Tom Sizemore, the dynamic of the team, and that opening scene with D-Day. It's just pure cinema gold. I love it, but I do Schindler's List. I mean, come on, it's a movie. It's a very tough choice, but I go with.
And what about Jaws?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
think you
E.T.?
can
But
tell.
if we're going
We're
to
just
choose
going to-
Jaws,
I know. I mean, it's like,
yeah. What about Jaws? That is really tough. I feel like they both elevated cinema for those genres in
They
such
really
different
did.
ways.
Yeah.
Schindler's List, it's not a film I can watch a lot, obviously.
No, right. No, it's not.
But it really was spectacular. But Saving Private Ryan, for what it did for dramatic war and all that, and the ensemble, it showed us a perspective we haven't really seen before for that time. And I think films like that are constantly not mirroring it, but taking elements of that. So I would have to go for that. That's like from beginning to end, just like a work of art.
It just felt like you were on that beach.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
felt like you were there.
If I had to choose between those two, I would actually go with Schindler's List because that film rocked me to the core.
Yeah.
That's just so powerful. The performances, Ralph Fiennes is brilliant. That movie, again, not one you can see
No.
for fun
No.
or again and again, but just how powerful it was for that.
We're gonna go out to the club tonight. Hey, how about before we go, we all sit down, have some pizza, and watch Schindler's List?
Yeah. That's a good first date.
If I
maybe.
had, it's a good first date movie. If I had to
gosh.
pick between the two, I will go with Saving Private Ryan. I don't know how you go vote against Schindler's List in
I
any
know,
way.
that's so different.
It's just that opening scene. I don't think any film in history has captured the whole essence of forget the glorification of it. War sucks.
Yeah.
fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that scene.
Camera, when the point of view in the water and the
Oh
up in
my
the water.
gosh.
Oh my God! You feel like you
Yeah.
feel like you're.
Yeah,
on
Yeah.
you do.
And is it wrong of me? But every time I even think about Schindler's List, I just think about that one scene in Seinfeld. Did you guys
Yes,
ever see
it's
that
wrong of
episode
you.
of Seinfeld where Seinfeld can't get any time alone with this new girl he's dating, so they go to the movies, and it just
yeah.
happens to be Schindler's List,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
making out in Schindler's List, and people around them are like
It's
"Oh, man."
judging.
Anyway, all right, folks, that will do it for us on this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Thanks so much for joining us. Listen, don't forget, lots of great films playing at AMC Theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and your movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video and you'll see a link to our podcast RSS feed so you can listen to us on the way to work. And also, if you've not done so already, take a moment and click on the subscribe button, become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel, and click the thumbs up button. It's just a way of letting us know that you like these videos that we put together, and it's a good way of letting other people know as well. I want to thank the people sitting at the table with me. First of all, sitting to my left, Miss Alicia Malone. Alicia, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Alicia Malone, and I did a photo wearing a Wonder Woman suit. I think I
Really?
look quite good.
Wow.
You
With
just picked-
filters.
You just picked up 10,000 followers.
With what?
With lots of filters, I
I
look good.
thought you said tassels. Okay. That's that's a different costume. I'm like, what?
No.
Okay. Anyway, sitting to my right, Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, where can people find you?
No
He's got tassels on
no
too.
tassels, no bells, no whistles. Just at Christian Harloff or right here on YouTube. Schmoes, no.
What did you say?
Filters.
Filters.
Like Instagram.
Close.
Oh,
When you put a lot of filters
like
on.
Instagram filters.
Then you look good. When you
You
don't put
are
filters,
as red
you
as that
don't.
bow in
Don't worry
Schindler's
about
List.
it. No tassels.
And sitting over there,
Burlesque one woman.
Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, before I say anything else stupid, where can people find you online?
I rarely hear that laugh out of you, and when I do, it makes me really happy. You can find me at Instagram and Twitter at Amy Rose without tassels, but I'll work on that. And go see The Rover, because it's really, really good, really well done. And Robert Pattinson finally gets away from that Twilight image, and he was really, really phenomenal in it.
Hashtag get tassels.
And sitting over there, our gatekeeper today is Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Ashley Mova. I can't stop thinking about tassels.
And you can find me on the various social media networks at John Campion, watching Italy continuing to kick some ass all over the world at the World Cup. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name's John Campion for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.